Philippine businesses now face a hard transition. Sustainability has shifted from elective PR into a mandatory regulatory requirement. The problem is, the consulting market is currently saturated with firms selling identical, high-gloss international templates. Boardroom-ready international templates often collapse under the weight of local regulatory audits. Choosing a generalist carries a heavy cost. You drain your budget on fees, lose months of operational time, and open yourself up to severe non-compliance penalties, all while burning trust with your stakeholders. Failing to vet your consultant properly transforms an intended shield for your business into a massive, self-inflicted operational vulnerability. This quadrant chart grades consultants on two main factors. On the x-axis, their localized fluency, how well they know Philippine law, and on the y-axis, their organizational impact, ranging from just printing a report to building a functioning system. Down here in the bottom left is the path of least resistance. These consultants require very little upfront effort from your team, but they carry high long-term risk. We call this the danger zone. Operating here gives you an illusion of compliance. You get the paperwork, but your company gains no actual legal protection. Your target profile is up here in the top right. A highly fluent, localized expert who leaves a tangible impact on your daily operations. Identifying these experts requires a specific set of screening criteria designed to verify their local credentials and their methodology. Evaluating vendors against these 5 metrics ensures your budget buys functional resilience instead of a sunk cost. This scorecard illustrates the first metric. We strip away the generic promise, testing for actual localized legal fluency. If your consultant cannot speak comfortably about Republic Acts 9003, 8749, 9275, 11058, and 11898, they cannot build a compliance strategy. Prioritizing local legal protection might mean passing on the prestige of a massive international brand name. The second metric requires you to demand verifiable, industry-specific outcomes. Knowing a consultant conducted 20 general workshops tells you nothing about their ability to solve your specific problems. The sustainability mechanics of a heavy manufacturing plant, managing industrial effluent and heavy emissions, are useless when trying to build a strategy for a retail chain or an agricultural operation. Sticking to this requirement comes with a cost. You will wait longer to find the correct specialist instead of immediately onboarding the first available generalist. If you skip these 2 checks, you are paying a premium out of your own budget to fund a consultant's learning curve, all while leaving your business legally exposed. Eventually, the contract ends, leaving you to look at what is left behind. A major red flag is a consultant handing you an impossibly thick, unreadable document, collects their final fee, and completely disappears. The alternative is the path of capacity. This is where the consultant actively works alongside your team to build a functioning, localized operational system that you control. Building that system requires a heavy time investment from your own internal staff to learn and integrate new workflows. It will cause operational friction. Accepting a glossy report without internal capacity building creates an expensive distraction that fails to improve your operational readiness. The fourth metric demands hard proof. Look for verifiable, measurable operational improvements in their past work, specifically a track record of reduced violations and verified environmental metrics. To generate outcomes, you need the fifth metric. This network diagram visualizes systems thinking. Notice how distinct nodes for finance, operations, and HR react and adapt simultaneously to a central policy input, preventing ESG initiatives from operating in isolated silos. Within this system, the consultant must use a theory of change. This creates a roadmap linking your immediate, everyday inputs directly to long-term systemic impact. Hiring experts trained in these advanced methodologies requires higher upfront capital. They are rarely the low-cost option. The payoff for that capital is independence. By the time the contract ends, the consultant leaves your team entirely capable of running the entire system on their own. The true mark of an elite consultant is making themselves obsolete, embedding their expertise directly into your internal workflows and standard operating procedures. This decision tree flowchart matches immediate organizational constraints with the correct consultant tier. It starts with one question: what is your primary constraint? For mid-market companies needing to survive local audits, follow the compliance-driven route. Your focus lands strictly on regulatory fluency and measurable outcomes. Trade international prestige for local legal grit. Avoid broad systemic frameworks if you lack the staff to implement them. For enterprises aiming for market differentiation, take the strategic route. Requirements focus on internal capacity and systems thinking. You must accept the higher consulting fees and the internal friction required to build a resilient, self-sustaining operational architecture. Catastrophic failures in ESG consulting usually stem from a mismatch between a company's operational maturity and the consultant's profile. The worst possible return on your investment is paying a premium for a consultant to simply validate your existing biases with an off-the-shelf template. These specific questions serve as a defense mechanism for your capital and your credibility. International ESG prestige will never serve as an adequate substitute for actual Philippine regulatory survival. A properly vetted engagement takes sustainability out of the compliance cost center and turns it into a resilient operational advantage. Use this scorecard. Force every potential consultant to prove their localized, measurable value before you ever sign a contract.